You're on mute, check.
You spotlight me, please.
You're spotlighted.
جزاك الله خير. طيب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وعلى من تبع هداهم إلى يوم الدين. Indeed, all praises due to Allah, and my peace and blessings be upon His Messenger Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wa alihi wasallam. Tonight, inshallah, we will be talking about the fourth benefit that we benefit from this whole thing about the Athkaar, in which we have discussed a number of issues. We discussed the general Athkaar from the Quran and the Sunnah. We talked about some of the ad'iyas from the Quran and the Sunnah that you should memorize. We talked about as well the person securing himself against the shaitan. That's another benefit. We talked about last time the Athkaar to protect yourself from the magic. And tonight, inshallah, we're going to talk about the evil eye. What is the evil eye, and how do you know you're being eyed, and how do you cure yourself? All of these things are very important, because you will see that with the classes going, that some of you that are not aware how dangerous is the eye. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, most of my ummah, they die after the qada'illah wal qadar from the eye. So if, like, for example, 50% qada' wal qadar, 50% is qada' wal qadar, but it's through the eye, the evil eye. Prophet ﷺ, he said, inna al-ayna haqq, evil eye is true. So it is true. وَلَوْ كَانَ شَيْءٌ سَابِقُ لِلْقَدَرِ لَسَبَقَتْهُ الْعَيْنِ. And if anything to precede the qadar, which is the decree of Allah Azza wa Jal, it would be preceded by the evil eye. Now, when he says precede, there's nothing will precede the qadar. But if anything, there will be to precede the qadar. It's like if there was a prophet after me, it would have been Umar. There is no prophet after the Prophet ﷺ. And that's why we call in Arabic imtina' al-imtina'. It is not going to happen, but it shows how dangerous is the evil eye. Prophet ﷺ, he said that the evil eye, it will make the person drop from a cliff and kill him. And also, the Prophet ﷺ, he said the evil eye, it will make the person to enter the grave and make the camel enter the cooking pan. So the evil eye will drop the person and kill him. And also the evil eye can as well kill the camel and make him to be cooked. So that's why we need to understand what is the evil eye, and how do we know that we are being eyed, and how do we know that the person who had eyed us, okay? So that's why it is the evil eye. I would say it is one of those things that very rare that you find people who are equipped with this. You see, you know, when you want to be a doctor, how many years do you spend to be a doctor, physician? You go to, first stage is general, and then after that you specify, and then specification of the specification, until you start to be a master. In the field of evil eye, we don't have these masters. We do have masters, maybe in terms of the removal of the jinn, exorcism, but not the evil eye. Because the evil eye is of two types of disease, because the illness or the disease can be type 1, which is the body disease. Your broken limb or injured, wounded, something like this. And these limbs diseases, regardless of which, whether you got COVID-19 or anything, that all of these, they have as a cure. Prophet said, "Ma khalaqa Allahu min da' illa ja'alahu dawa." Not a single disease that Allah created that there will be a cure Allah made for it. Asabahu, if this cure had hit, it was correct for that disease, you'll be cured. So alimahu man alima wa akhta'ahu man khata. Some of the people would know that cure, some of them they would not know the cure, regardless of what type of disease. Whether it's COVID-19, which supposedly they know now how to cure it with this vaccination, or it is those things that they don't have yet. Okay, they don't have yet a proper cure for it. The only thing that you can't cure it, which is death. If death comes, you can't cure it. And there is one which is the spiritual. Spiritual is that the person has this magic. Jinn possesses him. That's called spiritual. And there is one which is the third one, that's psychological. Person, psychological, epilepsy, but not the spiritual, because epilepsy is two types, one spiritual and one which is physical. So this is psychological as well. I would say maybe he's this person, could be as well physical epilepsy, but I'm talking about the spiritual, psychological, depression, stress, and all of that. People committing suicide for nothing. And there's one which is, this is the fourth one, is in between. It cannot be spiritual. It could be sometimes spiritual. It could be sometimes physical. And that's the evil eye. That's why it is very hard to determine if this person has got an evil eye or not. Very hard to find people or expert. Because if you need to be expert in evil eye, you have to practice and practice in front of a sheikh who knows how to do it. Okay? And he will, so to practice as a student, practice in front of a sheikh, and then you'll start knowing, what is this evil eye or not. Okay? And let me just, before I start anything, when you see somebody whom you think an evil eye, don't start, diagnosing him. You got an evil eye, because that will increase his pain. You've got, it's better just to read your Ruqya. Okay? Better than to say that so it's better to read your Ruqya, better than, because he's not being required for me to go and basically diagnose the person. Ruqya. So as I said, this field of evil eye, because some people, they don't know they've been eyed. They don't know. One reciter, I can't recall him, of the Quran, he was in the Haram, and he was well spoken, and he said this, he was reciting, and suddenly his voice is gone. He can't do anything. But because he's a sheikh, he knows that he's been eyed. Okay? And let me switch off here. Sorry, my WhatsApp is coming up now. So, and he didn't know, he knew because he was eyed. So straight away he did what he did, and then his voice come back. Okay? So the eye basically is dangerous. And then inshallah you will be bi'idhnillah entertained in this class regarding this, and you will inshallah listen to me very carefully with this. But I don't want you to be as well to be scared, because if you are protected, nothing can penetrate you. So let's start. What is the definition of the eye? So if you know the disease, you'll know how to to save yourself from it. If you don't know your enemy, if you don't study your enemy can really attack you. The best definition of the evil eye or the eye is actually what Ibn al-Qayyim had said. Ibn al-Qayyim had said it is arrows, siham. You can't see them, these arrows. Okay, they are arrows, and it comes from the person who is an envier. I don't know if that word is correct, or envier. That means who envies, the one who is eyeing, the one who's gonna eye another person, and these arrows will go towards that person who's been envied, who's been eyed. Sometimes it will hit him, sometimes it will not hit him. So if you're shooting an arrow, it could hit the target. You don't hit the target. Now, if it did not hit the target, no problem. But if it hit the target, then we've got two possibilities here. That either this person who's been hit with these arrows is exposed. He is not protected by the Athkaar. Okay, so then it will, by the decree of Allah Azza wa Jal, everything by the decree, by the will of Allah Azza wa Jal, it will affect him. But if this person is protected, he is immunized, okay, he's immunized, then these arrows will not go through and it will not affect him. That's the best definition of the evil eye. Now, we're going to understand as well in a minute what are the effects of the evil eye. So the evil eye that hits the son of Adam is a result of envy, and it is because of this person, when he sees another person, is dazzled. Okay, that's the word, dazzled. He is basically overwhelmed by a particular for example, impressive quality about that person. Ooh, wow. So he's basically dazzled. As soon as he sees this thing, and then coupled with that person whom this person said about him, whatever it is, he just said a word or made an act, that one was basically unaware, not protected. He is oblivious. He is not really putting his guard down, lowering his guard. That's why he's been affected. So there is no dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. The dhikr of Allah is the fortress, is the protection, is the immunization. So this arrow came from that person because of envy, because of even not envy, just saying a word, just saying the word. Because as I said, he's overwhelmed by a character of his. He's impressed with it. He's dazzled with it. And then he just says these words, okay? And he does not mention Allah's name as well, this person. Does not say the word Baraka Tabrik, Mubarak, Barakallah. Just does not mention them. And it could be as well, shaitan will follow it. Because the Prophet said as well, even when the evil eye forms, there's a shaitan there watching from the shayateen of the jinn. The eye could be normally, which is from human being. And the evil eye can be as well from jinn. The evil eye from the human being, as we're going to see the hadith, which is hadith Sahl ibn Hunayf with Amir ibn Rabi'ah. This hadith is our main target with this, inshallah, in a minute. The one from the jinn, which is hadith Salama, when the Prophet he entered Salama and he saw with her a girl, and she was saf'a, means she's yellow and thin, something wrong with it. قال إن بها نظرة. That means she's got nadra. Nadra means nazar in Urdu. But this scholars interpret it as that is an evil eye from the jinn, nadra from the jinn. Allahu a'lam. But regardless of this interpretation, we know that the jinn, just like the ins, some of them are Muslims, some of them are Muslims. And the jinn, they love and they have spouses and all of that. So they are mukallafun, they are being asked and obligated by Allah to fulfill their obligations, which is to worship Allah alone. So some of them are kuffar, some of them Muslims, Christians and Jews and all of that. So some of them as well good and some of them are bad. Some of them they don't envy, some of them envy. So there is an envy as well from the jinn, evil eye. And there is as well evil eye from the animals. Some of the scholars, they said, the animal, it looks at you when you eat, and it looks at you and looks at you. It's better to give her some. Because it keeps looking at you, it might give you an eye. Allahu a'lam. So there's an evil eye even for the animals. But the one we want to talk about is the evil eye that in general, what it is and what is the effects of it and how to protect it. So how do I know I've been eyed, and how do I know the one who has eyed me? Okay. طيب. How does this eye affect the person? This person who is eyeing another person, okay, he would eye him with some words, or with no words, just looking, making an action like this, without the mentioning of Allah Azza wa Jal, without saying Mubarak, MashaAllah, Tabarakallah. Straight away, the evil spirits which are present will receive that radiation, the arrows, the laser light, whatever you want to call it, it comes. We don't know if it's you see it or not. You don't see it normally. But with a story, if you remind me, please, that there is somebody whom we believe that he's trustworthy, that he's seen something there. And this, with deliverance or without deliverance, it could be just somebody, he doesn't want to do something harmful, but he did not say mention Allah. His eyes gone to that shape of shooting his arrows, and he shot you because he could shoot himself. He could shoot himself into the mirror. Okay, right. So he could just say, "Wow, what a nice face you've got," and then next day his face is burnt or damaged, whatever happened to it. He could even eye his own children. Look at you, like monkeys jumping. Mashallah. They don't say mashallah. You see, just strong and jumping. One of them could break his legs, another one breaking his arm, because he could eye his own children. So it doesn't mean that you have to have bad intention. But the way that you said it, because you have طيب. So this will either, so what is the effect of this? The effect is going to be 5 effects. First effect, العين القاتلة, the eye which will kill. Either will kill you instantly or kill you after a day or 2 days, even after a year. It's a killer. والعياذ بالله. The eye, the second one, is the eye which is المعطلة, that will paralyze you. So this person can move his arm, can move his left foot, can move his mouth, can move his eyes. معطلة. So we call it the paralyzing eye. The third one, العين المتلفة, the eye which will destroy. It's more, not just paralyze it, it will destroy that limb. It will not kill you, but it will destroy that limb. It will completely destroy it. The fourth one, the fourth one, which is the last one, or we've got to say for 5, العين السببية. العين السببية is the eye which is a result of a reason. There's a reason there. So that means, I'll give you an example. There was, and before I give you the example, let me just go to the 5th one, because the example is a story. The 5th one is العين العارضة. العين العارضة, the ayn which is because you are dazzled with something. Okay, you're dazzled with something, you like something, and you said something, and even you didn't have the intention to have the eye, but it happened. So let's go to the ayn al-sababi. That means it happened because of a reason. Sheikh Abdul Rahman Abdul Samad, Sheikh from Kuwait, rahmatullahi alayhi. He died in the 90s in Australia with a car accident. One of the Salafi scholars, mashallah. And he was very good in this field, very good, rahmatullah alayhi. And what happened is he used to, teach how to treat the evil eye. But he said, and now the story is first from his son called Yusuf. He's Abu Yusuf. His father died in an accident, and also his mother died, Yusuf, may Allah have mercy upon her. Yusuf, she told Yusuf, and Yusuf has told us. Okay? So Yusuf is saying that at the time of my father and mother, at that time, there was in the neighborhood somebody called Ruqya or Ruqya. I can't remember. It's either Ruqya or Ruqya, her name. And they keep saying, watch out for Ruqya. Watch out for Ruqya. Okay, watch out for Ruqya. This woman, if she comes, that's it, you've finished. The reason behind this is that one, she was married, but she didn't have any children. Remember, for a long time. So any person, any woman, she comes with children, she will have an evil eye. And that evil eye is a killer. So any woman, she will have children. So once she comes to visit somebody, they will hide the children straight away from her. That's al-ayn al-sababiyya, but it's also the qatila, killer. Yusuf, she's a wife of the Sheikh, and she's, mashallah, as generous as the Sheikh. The Sheikh was generous, rahmatullah alayhi. She still have their door open. She doesn't mind. So she used to come her. Once, she says that she had lost 3 sons because of that woman. One of the incident that took place, like she was coming out of the hospital, and she just, and she was, I think she's like, I don't know, she gave birth, and she saw her, she said, you don't look even you're giving birth. Just that word. You look as healthy as you're having given birth. Now, Yusuf, she said to Yusuf, and Yusuf is saying that Yusuf, when she said these words with her eyes, there was something like flashing. That's what she remembers. It could be imagination, it could be emotion. But, even scientifically these days, they have said that when you look at something for a long, long time, you might have an effect on him. That's scientifically, but we're not going to listen to that one. We're going to listen to our Prophet ﷺ. So she had seen sparkling, something like flashing. And as soon as that happened, she went down. And she was in her house. And basically, Abu Yusuf came, and he couldn't get inside. He has to jump the fence, Abu Yusuf the Sheikh. And he went inside and showed her in blood, and the child died. And every time she had 3 children. All of them, she named them Yusuf, Yusuf, Yusuf. The third one, who was the one who's lived, the other one died. I think the 3 children died or 2 children, but she had a number of children died because of Ruqya or Ruqya, as far as I can remember the name. طيب. So basically, this is a killer. And that is, the problem is, judgmental wise. For example, let's say, for example, that this Ruqayya, the judge cannot go and, for example, kill her because with her eyes kill that child. No. So his punishment will, or her punishment, or his punishment will be later on with Allah Azza wa Jalla if he meant it. But in the Islamic states, that if they see he's being known that this guy is he does affect with the eye, they will lock him up. The Khalifa will imprison him and put him in the prison. I will just, give him 5-star hotel, but he's not allowed to go out because it's dangerous. Some of the people, that when they do the evil eye, they got heat. They could feel it. Okay? I know, wallahi, a person who's a good person, mashallah, upon the Salafi manhaj. He said, no, Shaykh, wallahi, I have a problem. Quite evil pride problem. He's maybe just a bit younger than me, maybe as old as me. He said, please don't show me anything good that you have. He mentions Allah, but sometimes he forgets. And he is, mashallah, he loves Quran, he said Quran beautifully. But just, he said, I've got a hot eye. Don't show me anything that I might forget to say, and I know from myself. This type of person, maybe they will be locked up. Okay? But we cannot really, for example, because we cannot just, for example, that he had done this, we're going to put you in prison because of it. We can't say that. Because this is something to do with the inside. Okay? The evil eye took place. We can't just say, what did you say inside yourself when you looked at that person? طيب. Coming back. Now, how do I know this person had given me the evil eye? Right? If I know this person, he's basically, while you are sitting down, he said something, so you know him. Or another issue of that in the neighborhood, he's known. Ruqayya, she's known. The evil eye. So he's known in the neighborhood. Or he had said something while you are there and you evil eye. Okay? Or he had confessed and told you. Okay? Right. How do I know that I've been eyed? You'll find something had changed. Either don't feel comfortable, or something being paralyzed. You haven't been started to talk at all. You finished talking, you can't talk anymore. Okay? So lots of things. That there's a change. You could know that you have been eyed. Let me now connect between eye and evil. Not every envy is an eye. But every eye, it has to be linked to the envy. Okay, that's the connection between envy and eye, evil eye. طيب, if you have been struck with an eye, you have one of 2 cases. Case number 1, that you know the person who had eyed you. If you know the person who had eyed you, alhamdulillah, then you'll command him to make the ightisal. I will tell you how the ightisal, wash. Ightisal means full wash, but I will tell you what it is, inshallah. Because we have difference among the scholars, and you're going to be lost. We're looking at which fatwa here, this person says something else. I'll give you it in full, inshallah, with the hadith which is in full. Now, when you commanded to make the ghusl, the person who had eyed, he should comply with that command, as it is an obedience to Allah and His Messenger. Prophet ﷺ, he said, Al-aynu haqq, evil eye is true. It's a reality. And if anything to precede the qadar, the decree of Allah, it would precede it by the evil eye. وَإِذَا اسْتُغْسِلْتُمْ فَاغْسِلُوا. You've been asked to give a wash, give a wash. Don't say, I didn't eye you. How do you accuse me? How do you just give it? He could be not. You could be eyed him without you knowing. Just give him. Yani. So he must give a ghusl. He must. It's a command by Allah Azza wa Jal. That's the first case. So the case number 1 is that you know the person. Okay? And how is the ightisal? I'll come to it in a minute. Second case, you don't know. You don't know who is the evil eye. Okay? Now, if you don't know, then ruqya, Quran, dua, having good opinion of Allah Azza wa Jal, having certainty that Allah will cure you. Okay? And also the person who's giving the ruqya, he's having certainty as well that and also the person is being recited upon that Allah is the one who makes the shifa, and nothing will harm except with Allah's permission, and nothing nothing cannot be cured. Everything can be cured by the will of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he will give him the ruqya with whatever is available from the Quran and the Sunnah, as we're going to see inshallah, and give you that. So let's go to the first case. First case is that the person knows who had eyed him. He asks him for ightisal. Okay. Now, he will comply. He should. But let's say this person doesn't want to, or you have a warrant between you and that person. If you ask him with this, he might kill you. It's impossible for you to ask him for the ightisal. That's the second scenario. So the first scenario, that he's going to make ightisal. How do I make the ightisal? Hadith Abi Umama ibn Sahl ibn Hunayf, about his father Sahl ibn Hunayf, what happened between him and Amir ibn Rabi'ah, two companions. Both of them, they went outside the Medina to a place where there is al-Kharrar, like a waterfall. Kharrar. Outside the Medina. And Sahl ibn Hunayf, he had a nice white skin. And Amir ibn Rabi'ah, he had sort of admired that white skin. As soon as he wanted to take off to, have some ghusl into that water, the waterfall, and Amir looked and he said, ما رأيتك اليوم ولا جلد مخبأ. I've never seen until today something like this beautiful skin, which is like a skin of a woman should never seen the sun. And she never came out of the house. Beautiful woman, sun in her skin. Soon as he said it, and he doesn't mean to kill him. This is the fifth eye. Remember the fifth, al-ayn al-arida. He admired a person. Okay. He doesn't want to kill him. Soon as he said it. Okay. Sahl labit. And he lubit means that he fell and he's just wobbling, dying. He was scared, Amir, coming to the Prophet ﷺ. Companions went to the Prophet of Allah. He's not moving. You couldn't do anything to him. He's dying. Messenger of Allah, come to Sahl. Wallahi, he's not lifting his head. He's like dead. He's not waking up. So he's telling the companions, do you accuse anybody? Well, they said, the nazar of Amir. Amir ibn Rabi'ah, I just looked at him. And he saw these, he said these words. So the Prophet ﷺ, he called Amir and he told him off. فَتَغَيَّضَ عَلَيْهِ. He said to him hard words, even though Amir did not mean it. But he said it wrongly, because when you dazzle with something, you're overwhelmed with something that is very impressive to you, you should say, MashaAllah, Barakallah. Otherwise, you're going to strike him with this arrow of yours. You're going to kill him. You're going to paralyze him. You're going to make him dysfunction. Either qatl or itlaf or ta'til. Okay? You could do anything. So be careful. Like you have a weapon with you. You might kill that person. So the Prophet ﷺ told him off. And he said to him, if any one of you sees something that he likes, يا أخي بركة بارك الله ما شاء الله تبارك الله اللهم بارك اللهم بارك الله أكبر يا أخي, your words ما شاء الحمد لله Allah, just Allah's words, mention it. That will basically immunize that person from your arrows to reach him. It will disinfect, I should say as well. It will break your arrows. It will make them without even a pointed end to kill that person. Just Allah's, just say, barakah is Allah Azza wa Jal. Put the barakah, akhi. Then he said to me, اغتسل. Now, this is now the ghusl we're going to talk about. The ghusl being mentioned in a number of hadith. Muslim Imam Ahmad, Sunan Abi Dawood, Ibn Majah, Ibn Hibban, Sahih Ibn Hibban. So we're going to, first of all, scholars are different, but you could just make ightisal, full ightisal. So you ask this person who had evil eyed you, he eyed you, or some could be more than one person. All of them just has, each one will have a ghusl. So he put himself into a pot, okay, or a bucket, and he washes himself inside, all of himself. And that water will be taken to that person. Now, either he will have a ghusl with it altogether, or with the pot. This is tea, I can't really use it because I've got tea now. With this pot, the water that has been collected and put onto the head of the person and all the way from his back. Or you could put all of it onto you. اغتسل, so all of it. Some of the hadith says that you put the pot and then you put the pot upside down. يكفئ. قال حتى يكفئ ايش؟ القدح. قال ثم صب ذلك الماء على رأسه وظهره من خلفه. قال يكفئ القدح. يكفئ القدح means you put the pot down like that on the back. So you put the whole water. Another narration, which is if you can't make the ightisal, doesn't matter, you could just make wudu. So you bring the pot with the water and you start making wudu, full wudu. And you inside that. What about if I'm disgusted? I don't want to have that water because of this. If you don't want, you want a trace from that person. That's what it is. So this is good. But if it's disgusted, just please spit outside. Okay, and wudu. Another one which adds to the wudu. So the wudu is full and is to as well the knees of his. The knees. So just the knees is not part of the wudu. Some scholars, they said, it's just wash this and wash that only, don't wash in this. That's one hadith. But if you put the other hadith with it, you'll find wudu. Tawadda lahu, full wudu. So that will be extra. This one, okay, with this one, and also the knees. There's another addition which is as well, dakhilata izarih, the inside of his clothes. Now, inside of his clothes, some scholars, they said it's the private parts. Some said the clothes which are touching the private parts. Some said the clothes which are touching the right hiqwa, which is this one, the right one, the inside of it. Looking at this, our Sheikh Abdurrahman ibn Samad, rahmatullah alayhi, he says, Abu Yusuf, that this garment, the underneath, which is the best, the dakhilat doesn't mean that the awrah. So just this, the one which is at the end of it, you just put water in it and collect it. So you could soak it in the water and put it in the pot. Okay, that is to be carried to that person who's been eyed. Okay, so this is dakhilat izari. I think maybe this is the best instead of taking something from the, from the awrah. So this, okay, and either you water, sprinkle it and get the water, or you just soak it inside that bowl of water. Now, as I said, you put that water on top of that person that could wash himself with it all together, or you could just from his head, okay, and his back. And as soon as you do that, if it's an evil, it will be disinfected. Prophet ﷺ, when he asked for that ightisal of Amir ibn Rabi'ah, straight away he put it on the back of Sahl ibn Hunayf. He got up, nothing wrong with him. Now, I'm going to tell you as well that an incident took place with me, and the incident took place with Sheikh Muhammad Musa Nasr, and an incident took place as well with others. First one was me. I know when I was a book shopkeeper, Islamic book shopkeeper for a long time. And I had a brother, my blood brother, who is, well built, strong. He's younger than me. And the person who works as well with me inside, he was, I think was, black belt grade 3, taekwondo or something like this. He was very fit as well. My brother, both of them, they went and they were making some sort of acrobatic movements in front of other people. And I was in the bookshop and they came to me, I remember, just about after Isha. Both of them are limping badly. oh, limpy, they can't even walk. Came to me, they said to me, you know, this is what happened. We have made something like a 300 degrees, for example, twisting or something, and something that we know to do it all the time. And suddenly something had happened. And there is somebody who's got hot eye there. That's what they said. After investigation, would you be able to ask him? He said, if we ask him on his own, he will, you know, he'll be get mad. So I said, okay, let all the 7 people with you to go and make wudu. Just make us wudu. And the inside of his clothes, to put it in that pot and do it in front of your eyes. All of them make the wudu because you don't want a target person. So all of them, no problem to mix the other ones with the one what you think is the iron. That if it makes it easy for you. So they brought it to me, that water, and it's mashallah bucket, I remember. So I divided it into 2 halves, one for my brother and one for this person. It's called Sharif. And Sharif is still alive. I've just been talking to him about maybe 5 days ago, subhanAllah, in Jordan. And I gave it to 1 half to my brother, 1 half to Sharif. I said, go and have a shower with it. Both of them, they gone to the toilet. My brother gone to my toilet in my house, and he's gone to his own in his house. I did not see him straight away. I saw him the following, because we're during the night. I saw him the following day, because he used to work in the bookshop. I thought you're not going to be working. But my brother, he went out of the toilet, nothing wrong. As for that brother, the following day, he said to me, I just washed myself, nothing wrong. It just came out. Everything had removed. Allah, I have seen it with my own eyes. And this is an evil eye had been removed by the power of Allah Azza wa Jalla. The other one is that now we're not able to take the ghusl of his. So this is the story of somebody. It's called our Sheikh Muhammad Musa Nasr rahmatullahi alayh. May Allah mercy upon him. He had died in an Athkaar accident as well, like Abdul Rahman ibn Samad. Sheikh Muhammad Musa Nasr, he said, a brother came to him. He said, my wife, she says, giving birth, beautiful child. And her breast was full of milk. She became big. And because of that, you know, women, they come and congratulate them. And the women there, when they give milk and suckling to the baby, they don't really care. Just take it out, and even the women, they look at each other. It's only maybe the nipple is not showing because it's in the mouth of the child. But the other women, they look, you know, you should not be doing this. If you want to suckle your baby, go inside. Even putting that close on top of you like this and he's inside, that action is not really correct as well. Because some of them, they do it in front of the men. You know, just put it. Well, the man is going to be, you know, sexually is going to be aroused because of this. It's not allowed. Okay? So go inside. And the women, they don't really, some of the women, they don't understand that. Just covering yourself in front of a mother. So she had what she had done in front of the women. They saw the breast. It looks like after that, what happened is that the big lump next to the nipple came out. It's bothering the child, can't even, because it's too much, too big. Next to the nipple, the child cannot even suck. He said, do you know who these women? He said, we know that one of the women who paid a visit, that she had given Nabi life, because it's straight away after they left. Right. Would you be able to ask them to make a ghusl? He said, no way. Their husband will make a war with us. They will accuse us. We just came to congratulate you. You are accusing us of this bad thing. Because the people are ignorant. When you have ignorance, you have bad response. So this is the second result now. We're going to take something from his athar. I don't know how to ask him for ghusl. I'm going to take something from his trace. His trace, it could be anything. For example, if I have his clothes, okay, I have his hat, I have his socks. Just put it in the water, soak it, and then put it on yourself. Wash yourself with it. Anything. Even if you couldn't have anything, okay, you could just let's say that he touches something with his hand. It's a trace. Bring something wet cloth and wipe that with a trace of it and put it in the water and soak it and put it in you. It will help. You need a trace. The more trace you have. So he said, the sheikh to him, this is the plan, basically. You go inside, invite the same women to come. For the food, for example, whatever, invite them. And then, when they come inside, you see when you come in the house of Muslims, you take your shoes off, women or men. Take all the shoes of these women, soak them into a bucket, because the women's shoe is the trace of their foot. That's their sweat. Yes, it's disgusting, but you need a trace, and sometimes it's disgusting to swallow the medicine, but it's still medicine. It will cure you. Take the shoes and soak them in a bucket. Then I'll take them out, and if women just came up, well, my shoe's wet, tell them, oh, there's a child, something had happened, you could just say there's a child there passing by. It could be the child, push something water on top of them. Any excuse. And then after they go out, take that bucket, which is full of the trace, and put it on top of the breast of your wife. And make it min ghusl on top of her, including the breast. He did it, and it's gone. The lump is gone. That's Sheikh Muhammad Musa Nasr, his story with that person who came to him. This Sheikh, who was a student of Sheikh Abdul Rahman al-Samad, he said that there was a woman who had started to all the time vomiting all the time, and they tried all type of cure, everything, still. So they asked the Sheikh, this is a student of Abdul Rahman al-Samad, he said, do you have any sort of people who think that had an evil eye on you? Yes, our neighbor. Go and ask. To make iqtisad. Between us and them, there is a revenge, war. We can't do that. He said, okay. When he comes to the house, he's going to take his shoes off. Okay? Take the trace where he steps down, when he steps on his shoe, wipe it with a cloth, take the cloth, put it there, and he did it himself, the Sheikh. And the Sheikh is, mashallah, upon the side of Manhaj. And he said, we did that, and it was make that other woman of his, the wife of his, to have ightisal. She stopped vomiting. All the symptoms had gone instantly. So you have to have a certain belief. You have to have certainty of belief regarding what we're talking about, inshallah. So this is when we know who is the person who had envied you. Now we don't know the person. We don't know. We can't really figure out. It's impossible to travel, for example. Then Ruqya. The Ruqya as follows. Ayat al-Kursi. Al-Fatiha. I should say Al-Fatiha, Ayat al-Kursi. The end of Surah Al-Baqarah. The last two verses of Al-Baqarah. Surah Al-Ikhlas. قل هو الله. المعوذتان. قل أعوذ بالفلق قل أعوذ بالناس. So these ones, Al-Fatiha, Ayat al-Kursi, the end of Surah Al-Baqarah, آمن الرسول بما أنزل, Surah Al-Ikhlas, قل هو الله أحد, قل أعوذ بالفلق قل أعوذ بالناس. Also you could read the following. Surah Al-Baqarah, there is an ayah. فإن آمنوا بمثل ما آمنتم به فقد اهتدوا وإن تولوا فإنما هم في شقاق فسيكفيكهم الله وهو السميع العليم. By the way, فسيكفيكهم الله, فسيكفيكهم, this word is the longest word in the Quran. Also, another ayah for the envy. أم يحسدون الناس على ما آتاهم الله من فضله فقد آتينا آل إبراهيم الكتاب والحكمة وآتيناهم ملكا عظيما. So this is Surah An-Nisa. It's in Surah An-Nisa. أم يحسدون الناس على ما آتاهم الله من فضله. Meaning, do they envy the people regarding what Allah had brought them from His virtues? The first ayah that we have recited in Surah Al-Baqarah, okay, we could go to the ayah tafsir, I can't remember which ayah number, but if they believe in what you believe in, that means this is a Sahaba, then they have been guided. And if they depart and leave, then they are in separation from you. Allah will suffice you. Allah will suffice you. This is the word they mean. Allah will protect you. وَهُوَ السَّمِيعُ, is the all hearing, the all knowledgeable. The other one, which is in Surah An-Nisa, أَمْ يَحْسُدُونَ النَّاسَ عَلَى مَا آتَاهُمُ اللَّهُ مِنْ فَضْلِهِ, do they envy the people for what Allah had given them from His blessings? فَقَدْ آتَيْنَا آلَ إِبْرَاهِيمَ الْكِتَابَ, for very we have given the family of Ibrahim, Al Ibrahim, Al-Kitab, the book, wal-Hikmah, which is the Sunnah, وَآتَيْنَاهُمْ مُلْكًا عَظِيمًا, and also we given them a great dominion, a great sovereignty. Also in Surah Al-Isra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says, وَنُنَزِّلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةٌ لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ ولا يزيد الظالمين إلا خسارة. And we bring down from the Quran what is a cure, mercy to the believers, and it will not increase the ظالمين except to be more losers, because the ظالمين, they don't believe in the Quran. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he said in Surah Fussilat, قل هو للذين آمنوا هدى وشفاء. Say that this Quran is for the believers as to be guidance and also a cure from the spiritual illness and also cure from the physical illness. Oh, and there are lots of ayat from the Quran, but this is what just been said. Fatiha al-Kursi, we said, and also the last verses of Surah Al-Baqarah, Al-Ikhlas al-Muawwidatan. The ad'iyah also with the Prophet ﷺ, you couple that with the ad'iyah, dua of the Prophet, Allahumma rabban nas adhib al-ba's washfi anta shafi la shifa illa shifa'u shifa'an la yughadiru saqama, 3 times. Lord, O Lord of the people, remove the harm and cure him, because you are the one who gives the cure. There's no cure except the one that you provide. A cure does not leave any disease remaining. بسم الله أرقيك من كل شيء يؤذيك من كل شر كل نفس أو عين حاسد الله يشفيك بسم الله أرقيك. Meaning, in the name of Allah, I give you ruqya. من كل شيء يؤذيك من كل شيء يؤذيك, from everything that would harm you. من شر كل نفس من شر كل نفس أو عين حاسد, and that is from the evil of every soul and every evil eye. أو عين حاسد Allah يشفيك. Allah is the one who's going to cure you. In the name of Allah, I give you the ruqya. Also the same thing, بسم الله يبريك ومن كل داء يشفيك ومن شر حاسد إذا حسد وشر كل ذي عين. In the name of Allah, Allah will cure you, and from every disease He will cure you, and from the evil of a person who is envying when he envies, and from the evil of everyone who does give you an evil eye. Also another one, امسح البأس رب الناس بيدك الشفاء لا كاشف له إلا أنت. Remove the harm, O Lord, the Lord of the people, for verily in your hand is the cure, and there is no cure except, there's no cure, again, there is no cure, رب الناس, and the cure is in your hand. There is no one would remove the disease except for you. لا كاشف له إلا أنت. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامة من كل شيطان وهامة ومن كل عين لامة. I seek refuge in the perfect words of Allah from every evil and every ham, whether it's a snake or scorpion, and every eye which will envy. أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من غضبه وعقابه وشر عباده ومن همزات الشيطان أي يحضرون. Meaning, that is, the meaning of it, أعوذ بكلمات التامات, I seek refuge in Allah's perfect words from His anger, from غضبه وعقابه, from His punishment, وشر عباده, from the evil of His slaves, and ومن همزات الشيطان, and also from the همزات, whispering of the shaitan, وأن يحضرون, and to be present as well, أعوذ بكلمات الله التامات من شر ما خلق. I seek refuge in the perfect words of Allah from the evil of what He had created. أعوذ بالله وقدرته من شر ما أجد أو حاذر 7 times. Bismillah 3 times. And then after that, أعوذ بالله, I seek refuge in Allah and His power from every evil of that I find and I'm experiencing. So this is Bismillah, and you put your hand where the illness is. So you say Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. أعوذ بالله أعوذ بعزة الله وقدرته من شر ما أجد وأحاذر 7 times. Also you could say to the person, أسأل الله العظيم رب العرش العظيم أن يشفيك. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal, the great of the Lord of the throne, or the great throne, to cure you. So I ask Allah the Lord of the great throne, to cure you. Say that as well 7 times. طيب. So you could even give ruqya to yourself. Put your hands on the pain. Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. 3 times. Okay. Bismillah, Bismillah, Bismillah. أعوذ بعزة الله وقدرته من شر ما أجد وأحاذر 7 times. طيب. Right, now, alhamdulillah, we understood how to know the evil eye, how to know that the person who's given you eyes, I would leave now. I wanted to talk about the Athkaar Sabah al-Masa. I'll leave that inshallah for a different class, because I know that you have maybe plenty of questions regarding the evil eye. Do not underestimate this. Do not underestimate this. But I'm not telling you to get scared. Once you are in the immunization of Allah Azza wa Jal, Adhkar al-Sabah wal-Masa, your prayer, your dua, your wudu, your general dhikr of Allah, your charity, your fast, your general ibadah, all of that is an immunization, vaccination. Okay? Those arrows will not get you. But if you are exposed, you're vulnerable. No adhkar, you're vulnerable. You know, the evil eye even affected that reciter, and he was reciting Quran, ya ikhwani. But he was quickly to go and gain the protection. He could have been lost, for example, he could have been forgotten his adhkar. One of the scholars had entered the Medina and he was stung by a scorpion. He said, all my life I never forgot my adhkar except for that night. I forgot my dhikr when I entered the Medina. And that is why, for the qadr of Allah to take place, and I've been stung. So if you see, Allah's qadr has to take place, so your adhkar, you forgot to say them. And that's why he was stung with a scorpion. He never lost them. He never slept with that, or without gone to the masa without mentioning his adhkar or his protection. But we're going to talk about Adhkar Sabah al-Masa inshallah next week, bi'idhnillah. Not next week, I think it's next month, bi'idhnillah. Jazakumullah khairan. If you have any questions, please go ahead for the course. Naam.
Barakallahu feekum, Shaykhana. Brothers and sisters, raise your hands. If you want to type it, sisters, you can send it to questions admin 1. Shaykhana, just quickly, you said to remind you about the story. Have you narrated everything you wanted to narrate about the Ayn?
I don't know.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. Okay, Jibreel, go ahead, brother.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Salam barakat.
Sheikh, I wanted to ask, basically, I have a jinn in me, and I find it very hard to pray the salah. When the salah comes in, I'm trying to get up and I can't get up. And then I can't pray in my head. I try to pray in my head, but I can't pray in my head. Do you have any advice for me how I can pray the salah?
First advice, I wouldn't recommend to be online in front of everybody and you say about yourself, you've got a jinn. That's the first recommendation. So if you are with the sheikh himself, yes, you could really say that to him privately, but like this, are you married?
No, Sheikh.
You're not going to get a wife, by the way. So I would say it privately, and you could talk about somebody else, and a person who's got a jinn in him and he can't pray and so on and so forth. There was a companion at the time of the Prophet ﷺ, Uthman. Now, not Uthman ibn Affan, Uthman ibn al-As. This person, he had trouble. He came to the Prophet ﷺ, Messenger of Allah, I can't even pray. He's got the jinn in him. Okay. And he find it difficult. Sometimes he doesn't pray. Do you sometimes miss the prayers? Be honest, because you said about yourself now.
When I remember, say if I'm watching TV, I'll forget. I'll try to get up, and then I'll forget. And then when I remember, I'll try to get up again, and then I can't get up to make wudu, basically. So
you miss some of the prayers. They're just like Uthman.
I'll try and make it up.
Can't make it up if you deliberately have pushed it out. That's the problem. طيب. Well, first of all, you just said TV. Get that shaitan out of your house. That is a shaitan. Or use the TV without the connection of the rubbish things. Maybe in internal circuit or whatever. You could, like, I'm using the screen of mine for something, like, for example, lecture or something like this. But don't put satellite, don't put, probably don't put satellite, but there's internet now. Allah musta'an, even worse. I mean, we're invaded in everything. So, number 2, make adhkar of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't forget them. Number 3, I don't know how the jinn got into you. It could be because of magic. and that could be a cure, or it could be for a different reason. That could be a jinn that he loves you, or you have harmed him somehow without you knowing, and he just wanted to get revenge. How long you've had it?
Since I was young,
How old are you now?
31.
So you had about for more 25 years or something?
I don't know. Since as
Were
far as
you
I
a
can
Muslim?
remember.
Were you Muslim before?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
I would say to you then, well, the more he resides inside, the more it's gonna be not easy to come out. Not impossible, but not easy. You have to be helping. I would, inshallah, after the class, if you can contact the co-host Ahmed, I will pass him a phone number of a person. You need to, because it's not enough just Athkaar. You have to be diagnosed by a specialist. Okay, so you go to that spot. Where you live? Where are you based?
I'm in Finchley, no Finchley.
What is that? In England?
Yeah, it's in London.
Okay, khalas. Well, that person is in London. He'll help you, inshallah. All right. Because it's just a case that you need to be
How do I
treated.
pray the salah?
You do what you can do. So if your mind cannot be focusing or something, concentrate. I mean, the Prophet did not really blame Uthman ibn al-As for losing that prayer. Depends how much control upon you.
What did you say? Usman left the prayer?
Yeah. He couldn't pray for a bit of time, and then after
in
he's
the
been
masjid?
cured. Yeah. And then after that, the Prophet he had cured him by hitting him and said, "Ukhruj aduwallah, come out." He came out and then he started. But he had missed lots of prayer. He said, because he couldn't. He was not himself. So I would just say to you, brother, you are a special case. I cannot really deal with it, openly like this. Okay. And I can't really do recitation through Zoom as well.
Can I say some adhkar in my head when it's time to pray?
Well, if you can do the prayer, do it. If you
Okay.
can't do it, you're not exempted from, you're not really responsible. But akhi, barakallah fi, as I said to you, go to that person, inshallah. Later on, go to the co-host, inshallah, he will tell you. Have you got his phone number, the co-host?
Let me take it down.
Take my phone number. So I'll give it to you myself.
Okay. It's on your chat, Jibril.
You're still good in chat.
Jazakallah khair.
Okay? Khair, inshallah.
Wa jazak, akhi. May Allah help you. May Allah cure you, brother.
And that's as well another thing that we had said, that Ahmed, he's reminded us, dua, akhi, make dua yourself, and the brother will make dua for you, but you make dua yourself.
Inshallah.
The dua, it will be proper dua, purify. Like the Sheikh will tell you, the other one, he will tell you to purify your health from all types of shirk and all that, images and all of that. Inshallah, he will tell you. Type. Another person?
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. And our sister's asking, is as-salah and ar-ruqya names of Surah Al-Fatiha? Is that authentic, Shaykhana?
As-salah and
ar-ruqya
is what?
the authentic names for the Surah Al-Fatiha.
Allahu a'lam, but we know if you said Surah Al-Salah, we don't really know it's a Fatiha. And the Surah Al-Ruqya, we don't know the Surah Al-Fatiha. Allahu a'lam, but it's Fatiha. It's a Fatiha. Taddal ya akhi. Yalla. Let's just get some question about the evil eye, akhwan.
Jazakallah khairan, Shaykh. Abu Bilal.
Please. The time is very special for the evil eye. So let's focus upon this now.
Sheikh, if you've got the water for the evil eye of a person, can you put it on yourself and some of your property as well that you think has been evil eyed, like your car or something else?
Well, the evil eye is not just to you, okay? So it's a good question. Do I need to put it? We haven't got anything that, to put the water on top of them, wash the car with it. But if you hadn't put yourself, because the evil eye is for you. So if that person had seen this car in a car show, it's not an evil eye, is it? He had eyed it because of you. How come you got it? If it was in the car show, he would not eye. He would, but unless somebody who was a car show, another person, he's got too many cars. You understand me? It's because of the person. Now.
So, for example, if it was parked outside and I wasn't there, and somebody looked at it and thought, "Oh, look at that car."
Yeah, you have to take from him and give it to you. Yeah, you have to take him for ikhtisar, but it could be kafir, and the kuffar are very big in their evil eye. لا يزلقونك بأبصارهم ويكاد الذين كفروا لا يزلقونك بأبصارهم. The kuffar, they would even make the Prophet just to slip because of their eyes, evil eyes. Now.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. A sister from Brixton says, Assalamu alaikum. Can I recite these adhkar in water and blow or write them with ink and drink and bathe with it?
No, that's not allowed at all, to go and write the Quran in ink and put it in the water, soak it. And that is shawada. This is not correct. But reading on the water and doing that, some of the Salaf did it, but we have no proof for that. Because we know the Quran, it does cure by itself. Quran cure by itself, not the water. So if we're going to be saying that the Quran with the water be powerful, that we are belittling the power of the Quran. Now, wallahu alam, but soaking water is like, no, that's not right. And then you're going to urinate that water as well with that ink. Now.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Abu Farid, go ahead, brother.
Sheikh, if a brother sees something good in you and they forgot to say mashallah, are you allowed to remind them, or would it be too late?
No, tell him, mashallah, akhi. Remind him, no problem. But it could be too late. It could be. Allahu a'lam. You remind him, say mashallah, akhi. Say mashallah. Because you might envy me without you knowing. Allah musta'an. We find this a lot. Yeah, Abu Farid. A lot. Barrik. But sometimes, the other, if you don't really like something, it is no tabrik. For example, I saw a person say, Ya akhi, wallah, you are big. I'm not dazzled with his bigness. It's too fat. He said to me, say mashallah. I said, no, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. I'm sympathizing. I'm not just saying because I'm astounded with your fatness. You're big, ya akhi, you're too big. He say mashallah. I said, no, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. اللهم اجرني في مصيبتي واخلف لي خيرا منها. اللهم عافني مما ابتلاك به وفضلني كثير مما خلق تفضيلا. I'm not going to be admiring you because you're fat. I'm just saying to you, watch yourself. Naam.
Jazakallah khairan, Sheikh. Please go ahead, Uthman.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
Salam alaikum.
Sheikh, can you, the evil eye, can you, like Allah says, to proclaim His blessings upon you? How do you like do that, and also like you fear the evil eye? People give you evil eyes. So how do you do both?
I don't understand the question.
Allah says, to proclaim the blessings He gives you, like to show them, but then like people they're scared of the evil eye.
Can you give me وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ? Is that the ayah you're talking about? Or
yeah,
something?
that one, Sheikh. That one, yeah.
Okay.
So then how do you like
this,
do
by
that?
the way, وَأَمَّا بِنِعْمَةِ رَبِّكَ فَحَدِّثْ is two things. One, which is the ni'mah of Allah onto the Prophet ﷺ, which is Islam. So talk about Islam. That's what it means. Hidayah. The other interpretation is that whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it, that you have to show it, as to say Allah has given me this. But now, he's saying that how can I compromise by showing this, and at the same time, I'm scared of the evil eye.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying to me. Like, well, first of all, always, in ni'mah of Allah, you don't show it to the person whom you think is an eye. Remember Ruqya or Ruqya? Ruqya came, hide your children. But others, you don't have to hide your children. Somebody came because I know he's rich. I could show him my new car. Somebody came and said, oh my God, let me hide him and show him my old banger in case he will be my old car. Okay, so that depends. And Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen was asked, am I allowed to not dress my children that really smart clothes because of the evil eye? He said, yes. Because, if you have dressed them so much beautiful and all of that, these children as well they make them really long hair and really look beautiful. If you don't cut his hair, believe me, you're going to cut his neck. If you don't cut his hair and make him look like a normal boy, you're going to just beautiful. You're going to break his neck. One person going to have an evil eye. And I've seen that. Some children. Allah, I've seen it. Allah, I've seen a child, so beautiful. Cut his hair, they don't listen. Cut his hair, they don't listen. That child, I remember, and the person who saw him, I did not see him. He had fell from something, or he had hit something, and there's a big cut here, a big scar. When they took him to the hospital, he said, the guy who was a sheikh as well, he said, Wallahi, it's an eye. An eye on top of the eye. It's like an open eye on top of the eye. They saw it, but it's a scar forever because of the stupidness of the people. So, don't say that, oh Allah, when you are you okay? Ya akhi, no, I'm suffering. That's no good. Say no, alhamdulillah. So by doing this, you are proclaiming, you are actually saying, Allah will give me, alhamdulillah, Allah is giving me. You understand me? You don't have to show it, but Allah, don't complain. Because some people, Allah gives them still complaining. It's number one. Number two, also that when you have good things, show it to the people without boasting. And if you have a person whom you think that is, a person can't envy, you hide it from him. Don't show it to him. Don't tell him even. Even the dreams, akhi, the dreams can be envied. And that's why the Yaqub alayhi salam, the father of Yusuf, he told his son Yusuf, when he said, إني رأيت أحد عشر كوكبا والشمس والقمر رأيتهم لي ساجدين, he said, don't, لا تقصص رؤياك على إخوتك فيكيدوا لك كيدا. Don't narrate, convey your story, your dream to your brother, your brothers. They will plot against you. Subhanallah, for a dream, they will envy you for a dream. They will envy you for the dream. His own blood brothers. So Prophet ﷺ said, if you see a good dream, only say to the person, not just the one who interprets it properly, but also to the person whom you love. Because the one who you love, he will love you back. The one who loves you will not envy you. The one who loves you will not envy you. So you tell it to him. But if you said it to him, even if he's a scholar, but he's a'udhu billah, shaitan, he might envy you just for that dream. Okay, let's habi ikhwanna, last two questions. I have to stop here and I'll go to Faisal. Who's before, Aida or Faisal? I've seen Faisal for a long time when he's gone down. I don't know why.
Sheikh, mine was on dua, but it was an evil eye. That's why I kept coming back in the line. But I've been raising my hand.
Leave the dua, inshallah, for next month. Is that okay, Faisal? Because you're all
yes, Sheikh, no problem. Next month, inshallah.
Yalla, Aida, you've got question of evil eye?
Yeah, I have a question. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam.
So my question is, for example, if you tell your friend or like someone to say Allahumma barik or like mention Allah's name, like must they be sincere in saying Allahumma barik for it to like?
No, just the word Allah, disinfect. Sincerity is not required here because he's supposed to say it in sincerity because he's not sincere, and Allah knows best. It's in his heart, but the mentioning, I'm not going to say it's sincere, akhi. Put your sincere test. Let me just see how far it goes. 90%, then it's okay. No, it's Allah. طيب, Anish. Anas.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Salam alaikum.
Sheikh, I'm going to shout a bit because I'm driving, but I just
don't crash your car while you're asking.
No. I'm not looking at the screen. I'm just focused. No. I just wanted to ask, for example, somebody says, oh, mashallah, you have, without saying mashallah, he says you have a beautiful kid. Is it sufficient for you to say mashallah instead of him?
No, he has to say mashallah.
Okay.
But if you have protected your children, even though you did not say mashallah, if you have protected his arrows, first of all, if they don't hit, they don't hit. If they hit, that if you are protected, still they will, basically this will disinfect his arrows, will break down. That's it. Okay, Ubaid. Yalla Ubaid, Chef. Bismillah, mashallah, ya Chef.
Sheikh, like if somebody does a black magic, does that magic has to be in the house, or can it be like, put it in the house? When they do the magic.
It could be in the house. It could be outside in the house. The magic of the Prophet was in a well.
How far can it be?
It could be the well of the Quran. It's far away from the house of the Prophet.
Okay, so
yeah, it could be a well. It could be
basically you're done then if somebody's done it.
No, right. Okay, Shaheen. Yalla, Shaheen, quickly, akhwana. Okay, Shaheen is not there. Abdullah 105. That number.
Assalamu alaikum, Sheikh.
If
you warn the people regarding one person, the evil eye, is it considered?
By the way, there was a cut in your sentence because of the internet. Okay. Go on.
I mean, if you tell the people one person has got really strong evil eye, is it considered as ghaiba or namima? I mean, talking behind them back or not?
Yeah, so if you said, let me, because your words are coming, your internet is not as good. So okay. You're saying that if you have said that somebody's got a strong eye. You've got a ghiba. Or if you're warning against him because of something, it's not a ghiba. But if you just keep making a scandal of him, to everybody, you're just talking to somebody in France, and this guy is in China. Who's going to come from China to France? You understand me? Why are you talking about him? But if you're talking to him in a sense of warning, it's not going to ghiba. Wallahu ta'ala alam. Jibreel, you've asked a question now. Subhanakallah bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu. Jazakumullahu khairan.